everyone, and welcome to This Week in WWE. I am your host, not so slim Jimmy T. He is my co-host, the prime R to the B to the V, and you are listening and watching live on Homie Media Group's YouTube channel, and of course on the Patreon after the fact. Rick, what a big week it's been in WWE.
Absolutely. This week at WWE, of course, we got the that red and blue review, those news and those notes. But Slim Jimmy T, chat out there, I got to know. The big question is, did you catch that backlash rash? Are you itching, scratching for more, brother?
Well, I don't know if I'm itching or scratching for some more because we've had a lot of professional wrestling in general, especially me. I've had to watch quite a bit of it. But nevertheless, it wasn't as bad as some people, thought Backlash particularly, or should I say BackRash, was. You know what I mean? Like our our good old co-host, Dr. Michael Jargo, he absolutely shat on it.
Jargo was not a happy camper. Probably to be talking all about it with him in just a few hours early. Start time 5:30 p.m. Eastern for Hitting the Marks Pro Wrestling Podcast this week. Hey, but I can tell you, because I love that you mentioned that there, because with the Mother Days weekend here, I had a lot on my plate here. Was hanging out with the nephews, doing a lot of fun things with them. So it kept me away from being a part of the review crew this weekend. You and MSG did an awesome job. Let's go Brandon with the big watch along, keeping everybody interactive, moving and grooving here on the HMG platform. But immediately I'm kind of talking to you during the PLE. I'm talking to Jargo. I'm talking to Scotty Woodford. There's a handful of other individuals, that I'm like, give me the updates. What are you seeing? Describe this to me, your thoughts, your experience. And I got to tell you, man, I really enjoyed hearing about it before watching it, because in our line of work here, for me, what I've really realized it's important, not necessarily what I think about it, but what is the rest of the army thinking about? What is the consumer? How are they digesting this thing so that we can break it down and talk about it? Hey, and when people are buzzing about it, good, bad, in between, that makes our job that much more exciting, and kind of mixed emotions about this weekend's Backlash and WWE over the last couple of days here. So, Jimmy, I really started thinking about this. When we look at PLEs and special events in 2026, let's take a look. Where would you rank Backlash? Because I've heard some people really enjoyed this show. People didn't like it at all. So right now, in the bag, we've had a Saturday night's main event from Montreal. That was January 24th. We had the Royal Rumble. We had Elimination Chamber, WrestleMania Night 1, WrestleMania Night 2, and then Backlash. What would you put it at the top, near the bottom? Where, if we are looking at these PLE special events, where did you rank this past Saturday?
That's a great question, because I feel like this year, the way WWE is kicked off has been a little lackluster compared to previous years. But obviously, Backlash does not beat WrestleMania Night 2. But if I had to put it anywhere, I guess I'd put it maybe number 2. I think it was a bit better than
when I start looking at all of these. WrestleMania Night 2 is the only PLE special event that really wowed me. That I was like, okay, I want some more now.
Absolutely.
They might have some momentum here. Let's go. That old feeling where, man, you couldn't get enough of the content. It left you hungry for more. And WrestleMania Night 2 is the only one that's done that. Oddly enough, out of the 6 that we've had, we got number 1, and we agree here, WrestleMania Night 2. Number 6 at the very bottom of the list, oddly enough, would be WrestleMania Night 1. I think that was a complete bomb of all the PLE special events that we've had.
It was that bad that it got me bloody sick, Rick.
Yeah, you went down. Yeah, you went down for days because of it. It was so bad. You and I were scheduled to go that night. We said, no way. We were going to have to cancel, and it had you laid up for days. Frank's saying the Rumble sucked. Going back, kind of looking at that, I honestly think, and this is not saying that it was great, it was bad. I'm just ranking on the product, the content that we've been given here, I would probably say that Backlash is probably 2 or 3 flip-flop that in Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, that's exactly where I would have put it. Either 2 or 3. Either way, it doesn't matter where you put it between those two. But for me right now, it probably would sit at number 2. Just.
I thought it'd be kind of an interesting way to look at it and compare that grading curve when we look at it as compared to what we've already had for 2026. But 2026, you say arguably, creative-wise, a major letdown, especially as compared to, maybe not here, because one of the biggest letdowns that I can recall of the last decade was around this time last year when we were suffering through that horrendous John Cena heel turn that they completely botched.
God. Yeah, but you know what? At least last year we had a few PLEs that delivered. I feel like this year.
Well, later after they got to see the stuff where they just abandoned it, where they was like, we were totally wrong. We screwed this up. But up to that point, it was especially this time last year, we had such that bad taste from probably one of the worst finishes to a WrestleMania ever.
Oh, the worst, probably, man, possibly. But putting that aside, at least we had a lot of great matches though on the PLEs. Whereas I feel like this year, I don't know if it's because, we did have Royal Rumble, unfortunately, in Saudi Arabia, which just, I don't know, man, it just doesn't have the same feel as it does when it's usually anywhere else. And, we're going to get WrestleMania next year in Saudi Arabia. Hopefully something goes wrong and it doesn't end up going through for whatever reason. Don't be surprised if that happens.
I don't know. The whole with WrestleMania changed this year. I think it's no matter if they even have to move it next year. I think it's dead in the water because they were so committed to it being.
Yeah.
And they'll try to feed us some BS, like, we do this for you. They're not gonna come out and give us a legit reason why if they have to. I think they're gonna stick with it. Go ahead and run it there. But Jimmy, we talk about the difference, and we are in the ad-driven era, top dollar revenue producing TKO. That is the target here. Go ahead here, man. You're hot on something there. Go ahead.
Well, you just reminded me because, we were complaining about the amount of ads, particularly this year on the PLEs. Backlash, for a show that went under 3 hours, had way too many ads, dude. Like, it was ridiculous.
It might have helped my viewing experience that I wasn't available to sit there Saturday night with you guys and watch it live. No, because when I went back, I didn't have to endure all that ad time. I was able to skip through everything.
Right, exactly. You're lucky.
And just get to really, the meat and potatoes of what, not even potato guy. I just want that meat. So I was able to just kind of consume what I wanted there. But, we talk about that as we, advertise they're getting that max dollar. So let's stick on that theme of dollars here. I wanted to ask the chat this, the Hameen Army out there. This is the second event where we had WrestleMania both nights and then Backlash here where we have seen WWE's PLE highlighted on ESPN's cable distribution, ESPN 1 and the ESPN 2, obviously ESPN 2 for Backlash here. What are the people that are ponying up their hard-earned human monies for this ESPN app? What are they paying for? They're paying for 2/3 of an event that is mostly advertising.
It's ridiculous.
They're giving away over half, just under 50% of the card we're seeing on the open air network.
Right.
What are you paying for? You're paying for this ad time and limited wrestling at a premium price.
At a premium price. And if you think back to like years ago with pay-per-views, right? We rarely got anything, maybe one advertisement or two advertisement tops, and they went for about 20 seconds each. You know what I mean? At least you paid, you got what you wanted, and now you pay a premium price and you get all this advertisement. I mean, come on, man. And especially considering that the PLEs are a lot shorter now. On top of that, not that we're complaining, I love that. But you got to get a good balance between what's worth, your hard-earned money and what's not. And the fact that they put so much advertising, and the fact that TKO, I don't really think even care because they're just all about the money. That's all they want. They want money. they're absolutely screwing the crap out of this machine called WWE to just turn out all this cash.
Well, in WWE, as I said, I've regularly said that TKO was not in the professional wrestling business.
Right.
And how many times have people scoffed at me over that? Now we should be
But you're right.
that I was exactly right. They are in the events and experience business. They've come out just in plain language said that. That's their words, not mine. Shapiro said that. We are in the events and experience business. They have a blueprint that they use for UFC, for the bull riding, that they use for their boxing, that they use for their wrestling, anything that they do. When they had, what was the parent company? The original
Endeavor.
And then they broke that down into all these other different acronyms and started creating all these different off branches and then naming different VPs and board members for all these different structures. A very simple business tactic, but what they were doing there, and Shapiro has talked about, Tim and Ari were on press row at the Super Bowl openly discussing their blueprints for success for their business model, and that is to control every aspect of an event. So when they broke down and created all these new acronyms, some of those were controlling food distribution, some of those were music, some of those were production, so that they would seemingly have all these different companies, but they're all the puppeteers to control all these major events like that. And WWE falls into that. I was sitting down for Easter dinner. My cousin, who works in trade, works in bonds, things like that, and nothing about professional wrestling. But he even said from his industry, people are talking about what TKO is doing to strip down those businesses. And one of the things is because you go for a premium dollar, you strip down your services, which we've seen, no more house shows, no more regular runs. It's all big dollar tickets. You strip those down. You start undermining your product, which we have got one of the worst products that we have seen from them. And then you start undercutting your employees. All the while, you're paying the top people. The strategies they got here. TKO themselves, with the Endeavor debt that they've got, $4.67 billion in debt. That was reported on the first quarter.
That's how much debt they're in?
Yeah, that's how much debt that the entire company is in, that TKO
Holy
is in.
Shit. That's a lot of money. And correct me if I'm wrong, Rick, but WB, when they got bought out, they came in with no debt, correct?
I'm sure they probably had some, and I don't know how much. Endeavor had massive amounts of debt when they took all this over. But of their last quarter reporting, $4.67 billion. TKO reported to have $788.9 million in cash equivalents.
Wow, that's pretty bad, Rick. Honestly, that actually kind of worries me, to be honest. That's a lot of money and a lot of debt to pay back, dude. I mean, that's going to be pretty hard.
We got MSG in the chat because I was going to ask Jargo about Slayers. You were talking about some advertising. Maybe MSG can weigh in on this. How does it work? Because I'm not exactly sure. I jot it down here to ask Jargo this later for Hitting Marks Pro Wrestling Podcast. How does the advertising dollar work when we're talking about the streaming service like ESPN Plus there? I mean, so is ESPN, are they big time in favor of more advertising there because they're recouping some of the funds that they put out to purchase this product, or is this all something for WWE? But Matt's right. We've been conditioned for a pay-per-view, no matter what that case is, that we don't get the over advert advertising. But most people who are professional wrestling fans are more popular than professional wrestling is any major sport, and we are flooded with advertising in those programs, in those big events, but the structure is so different in how it's presented. I was going to say that.
Right. You can't really compare pro wrestling to those other sports, to be fair, only because, it's always been about advertisement in sports. Let's be honest, right? Whereas with professional wrestling, it wasn't really about that. I mean, they did have advertisement, but it was very selective. And especially how they promoted it, it was extremely selective. They didn't plastic crap all over the stage or the ring and whatnot. You might have one like Snickers, for example, or Castrol GTX back in the day.
Yeah, so I mean, this makes sense. If you're ESPN, you want to maximize that. You're recouping your expenses to buy this product. That's your return on investment. And is this show today, this week at WWE, brought to you by Slim Jimmy T and Prime RBV. We're gonna TKO's their current business plan at the top is they are focused on revenue growth, and they invest in their stockholders rather than aggressively going at cutting into that debt. Which means if you got heavy stock at the top of that company, you're getting rich after these quarterlies because they're doing the buybacks on them or the payout on it, and you come back in and buy more shares at a certain rate. Ari Emanuel, the CEO, top dude, president, whatever, of TKO, he is the third highest top dog in Hollywood entertainment right now. So he's doing all right. And Shapiro's right up there as well. Yeah, well, he's the head of the whole TKO group.
Right, exactly.
The CEO of it. So he's doing fine. As we're seeing the practices here, now we're slashing contracts everywhere that we can. Not out. They've already cut out on the road stuff, so that, and it was under, we don't need to be out there. We want to worry about our, premium events, making the most of those. Well, that's all major cost cutting for them.
Absolutely it is. And it's worrying too. If I was the wrestlers especially, I mean, goddamn, you'd be walking on eggshells all over again. And to think when TKO first acquired WWE and Endeavor for that matter, everyone was happy at first. I'm talking about, we were hearing like everyone wasn't walking on eggshells anymore and this and that. But goddamn, now I bet you it's even worse than when Vince was owning WWE in terms of paranoia.
As she also said here, we look and it's very unfair and unrealistic to look at a comparison from not just 20 years ago, as she's got to put out there, but even 10 years ago, because you look at what is king in distribution. It is that streaming. And the number one there is the illusion of live must-see events. That's why the NFL is so king and dominant. That's why they've crushed that market. You see it with the other major sports, and it really is. It's a trend in a thread that professional wrestling is hanging onto, that they're going in and pitching to this distribution outfits. We are giving you must see 52 weeks a year. We don't have an off season. We don't turn it off. And wrestling is, pretty cheap to produce and put out on television.
And it's always new content. It's not like old content. It's always 100% new content. So that's what makes it unique. But
and that's their selling. That's how they sell this bag of crap. Creative crap is because you've got that. You've got that in.
But does it work with professional wrestling, do you think, though, Rick? Like overall, like does it work? Are they going to be able to condition the fan base moving forward in the future where everyone's just like, it is what it is.
Yes,
it's the way it is.
Yeah, because if you're going to continue to consume the product, you will adapt with it. I guess, eventually repetition will become what is regular for us. I'm a media marketing guy. I'm okay with it. I know it is overkill. I wish that maybe they would find some unique ways to incorporate those in. Maybe rotate some of the advertising on it because it's just so repetitive in sorts. Format your show where it's differently. I went back through because I felt like I didn't retain a lot of Raw last night. So I went back through this morning to make sure I had my notes right and everything I had organized properly the way that I wanted. And it was funny. Every time I went to fast forward and I'll just jump a little bit, just randomly, I jumped into a new set of commercials. So it was kind of like they were a whole new set.
That's interesting. So it was never repeating? Like it wasn't a repetitive commercial?
No, it wasn't like I was just started at the commercial one. Because now, because on Netflix, it'll let you know like you're an ad one of seven.
Yeah, in the top right corner there.
So I would be like at a whole new set. So hey, I come from that. I understand it. You need that. That is the hand that feeds the beast, that moves the machine. That's how they're generating their revenue with it. That's how these distribution, platforms can just rationalize paying for this product here. But you did mention future endeavors, people being afraid for their job. Ben popped me big time yesterday. We were talking about this, and we get your thoughts on it and maybe deep dive a little bit more into this. But on the wrestling side of this, You know, I love it when people retire and just keep showing up to work each and every day, every week. But John Cena was back at Backlash, and he had a big
Oh my
time
God.
announcement. It was going to change the WWE. It was going to change professional wrestling forever. And his announcement, he's getting his own tournament, the John Cena Invitational, right? This is going to be an event unlike no other before. It's going to include NXT stars, WWE stars. They're going to have magnificent matches. And you, Slim Jimmy T, you, Prime RBV, you, Hotman Army, you get to decide the winners. Now we're coming to understand. We're getting word that WWE's kind of admitted this. Cena's admitted this posting. They just wanted to get the announcement out there. They're really not sure what the hell this thing is going to be.
Even worse.
They just wanted to get a big announcement out there. They feel like they had to fire people up to get people rallied up around the product. John Cena was the guy to do that. When you heard this, when you and MSG and Let's Go Brandon and all you guys breaking it down here this weekend, when you saw this announcement, heard this announcement, what were your thoughts? And as we sit here on a Tuesday afternoon, what are you thinking about it?
Well, first of all, as he announced it, it seemed like, okay, this sounds interesting. And then as he kept going, suddenly we're hearing another new championship belt. Right?
That's one of those just immediate, you know.
Yeah, and did you hear the crowd reaction? They're like, yeah, oh, cool, I guess. And then not only does whoever wins a match, absolutely, it doesn't mean anything for whoever does win a match.
We don't know that. We don't exactly know what it means. Maybe like they get another chance. We don't know if they're gonna like come back and like stay tuned for the results. You know, do they wrestle to like 10 minutes and then we have the audience as a judge?
That's a good question, actually, because they didn't actually explain that properly.
And they've come out and said, even Cena said in an interview afterwards, he said, we don't know the details. We're just really excited about this. We wanted to get it. So this is kind of like Brawl for All, like when they just got it out there, but they didn't work through the rules or anything like that.
See, I didn't know that. Now I'm even more confused, Rick. So let me get this straight. He announces that they even didn't have a clue about what the hell is going on. Yes. And now I'm back in sort of, I'm flustered. I'm literally like flustered. So there's a chance now you're telling me, Rick, that possibly if you do win, you might actually move on in this so-called John Cena Classic.
That's the fans voting. So like if you get the win, what does the vote mean? So there's a few things that I thought about here. So fan voting, we were just talking about maximizing profits. They're going to charge. Right. They're going to charge people to vote in this thing, and people are going to pay for it.
No, wait. Are you suggesting that if you become a member of Club WWE,
that could be an option? Club WWE. If you're a member of Club WWE, your votes might count for twice as much. Like you're a dead Democrat. You know, they're just voting over and over. But they might American Idol this thing where there's like a line. So it's $1.99 a vote, and you can move your favorite NXT or main roster superstar into the next round.
You know what? If they American Idol it, maybe you can do something interesting if they use that sort of structure. Because you imagine having, say, a set of veterans, or John Cena for that matter, on his own, where he actually legitimately, like, just say, hey, you have him on his own. You don't need anyone else. He's the one that literally grades everything and tells them what to do and how to be and whatnot. That might be interesting.
Isn't that essentially what LFG is?
Well, yeah, I was thinking that as I was saying that, believe it or not. So that sort of throws things up in the air. So I don't know how you're going to do this, but can it work? If in an American Idol sense, it can work if they somehow implement it right.
I'm telling you,
it's going to be hard though.
They're going to charge people for this. And you're talking about people complaining about advertising. Will people adjust? We're talking about all the big money spent at WrestleMania. People are going to pay for this.
So you think these are just a money grab, basically, somehow?
What in TKO practices has shown you otherwise? Do you think they're going to do something out of the goodwill of their heart to say, "Hey, we want to get you new fans involved"? They're gonna tap into your wallets for this thing.
Wow, if they do that, bro, like I'm telling you now, they're dirtbags, straight up, but smart dirtbags. Because I mean, if they can get people to pay
also,
for it and vote,
is John Cena. You know, he's on this.
no, continue, Rick.
Well, I say they're going to. All right, but John Cena. So he's like on this big kick where he wants to get back. We know at his retirement show, he hand selected these NXT stars to come up and shine on the undercard versus main roster stars, which is kind of maybe where they got this is the birth of this idea, which made not a whole lot of sense. Ben was talking yesterday in the locker room about this. It reminded him this thing should be the Future Endeavor tournament because they're going to be, one side of it, you're going to have vets up there on the main roster that realize that they could be expense cut at any time. They're going to be burying young talent. The young talents, they don't know any better. They're coming up here, or they're just trying, hey, how does this person look on a bigger stage? Can we slide them in here at a fraction of the price? Funny on this, though, when it comes to helping build up young talents and working with others that are trying to get into the company, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, they got a great reputation in their career of that. Yeah, they didn't bully anybody or cut anybody's legs out from under. Also, John Cena's tied to this thing. I got some breaking news from Frito Scoops, William Alessia, that the first entrance won. Kenny Doane, he wants into this thing. And the Nexus, they won in because John helped their careers along so well. He didn't undercut them in any way.
So we could get the old school Nexus back in this John Cena Classic.
Yeah. Kenny Dykstra, he wants another shot. He's just not going to bring his fiance around this time, and everything will be all right.
Could we get Nikki instead of Nick Nemeth, basically? Maybe we get the Spirit Squad in this, possibly.
Yeah. Why not? They don't have any idea. Yes, I am with MSG on that. I love that show. We need to bring back the World Martial Arts. Was it Champions there? Yes, it was right when Mortal Kombat was hot right there. You remember that show, Jimmy? Yeah, they'd have like the guy with the grand star thing that would sit up there on the throne, and they had the different. Yes, I love that show. Speaking of that, I got to go catch the new Mortal Kombat here this week when I'm through with my wrestling update. Yep, just came out Friday, and they said it is badass. They said it is awesome.
What platform is it on? Is that the theaters or is it on
right now? It's in theaters.
Oh, damn it. All right. So I have to go out to watch it.
Some of the other, what I want to touch on with Backlash, a little bit different, not deep dive as much as you guys already did. We got that available at patreon.com/Hameen Media Group, Slim Jimmy T, MSG, breaking it all down there for you. But hey, how about this one? Asuka sends a very strange message post-match at Backlash. And we kind of get the goodbye and the symbolic take it off with her luggage there on Raw. Jimmy, immediately when it happened at Backlash, her and Io kind of almost like a curtain call there in the ring. Speculation running wild. What's going on? Is she done? We've heard she's done. We've heard semi-retirement. Rumor is now, following last night's Raw, that Asuka has returned to Japan for personal reasons and will be taking an extended leave from WWE.
So she's taking a sabbatical but she's possibly coming back still though?
Oh, they didn't. They said it was personal reasons. They didn't want to go into it too much, but she will be on leave here for a little bit as she has returned to Japan.
Well, first of all, I want to give you your flowers, Rick, because you brought this up 2 weeks ago first, just by the feeling of what was going on. No one else ever mentioned that, by the way, so that's why I'm giving you your flowers.
I just thought it was kind of weird, because we saw Kari kind of get whatever happened. They're no longer with the company. She returns to Japan. And Asuka, you got to believe, I mean, she's been with the company. When you look at the other women
2014
okay, so she's got to be higher up on that pay scale. And if they're looking to cut somebody's expenses, you got to 100% believe that they went to her and tried to make a deal with her. Don't get me wrong, Asuka, one of the all-time greats, top 100%. five all-time great women, and one of the best workers currently on their roster.
100%.
Does great in everything that she does, goes out there with great matches with everybody. So in either case here, Jimmy, your thoughts on where will the division stand and thoughts with Asuka leaving for whatever the reason might be?
Well, look, either way, if she's coming back or not, it's going to leave a big hole in that women's division, whether you like her or not. She is absolutely a top 5 women's superstar, possibly even a top 5 of all time women superstar in WWE. She's too good at everything that she does. Sure, she doesn't speak English, but she was that good that she didn't even need to. She got herself over by not even speaking much English. And she's gonna really leave a big gap in that company, not just because of who she is, but I'm sure she took a lot of wrestlers under her wing, like as the senpai. She would have been a locker room leader 100%, especially for every other Japanese wrestler and woman in the company. And I'm sure she's going to be really missed. But I hope we do see her again, even on a semi, full-time basis.
There was also some rumor out there that maybe this might have been like Brock Lesnar, where not a lot of people knew what was happening. And what we saw at Backlash might have been some business that they went into themselves. Now, there could just be some of these talents have caught word, or they can just read the writing on the wall that it's not really good for business right now for talent inside of WWE. Not. Maybe if you're Asuka, and this is interesting because Braun Strowman had talked about this during his exit, and they came to terms on his release, and he was open to, instead of having an extended contract that covered a long period of time, that Braun said he would continue to work with WWE, but they would be in short stints. He'd come in to run a sprint for a little bit for X amount of money, do a couple programs, put some people over, and it head up. Maybe for these veteran talents that have many, many years under their belt, maybe that's the new direction for someone like an Asuka. Like, hey, you know what? I'll come in and sign like a 3 to 6 month deal with you for X amount, come in and do something, then I'll take off. So you're more of that special attraction, but you're not locked into that deal long-term with them.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, if they can work out deals like that, sure, why not? I mean, if everyone's going to be on a Brock Lesnar deal that's over the age of 40, fine, but there's got to be that stipulation. You can't be obviously in your 30s doing that or in your 20s. You got to do deals.
If you're a draw like that, why not?
Well, yeah, absolutely, why not? So I can see that, but is that good for business too, though, in the long term, especially if you have a whole bunch of wrestlers that's kind of doing that too? If you
you've had fans debate for the longest time, should there be an off season? So this does rotate some individuals in and out. The company is not paying people to just sit at home, and if I'm the talents, and now this is becoming a major deal, more closer to sports, more closer to Hollywood entertainment. You got to have your agents setting up these deals in between where you can go work on all your other projects that you want.
Absolutely. It's only fair. That's what other sportsmen do, correct?
You can't be locked down into deals where you just have to sit at home. You should be able to go do, I would say, whatever you want. There probably have some provisions in there, like maybe you can't go work for another wrestling company.
Well, that makes sense
in a certain area, but you can go, like Braun, he's getting ready to release that second season of that show, and I don't think that's part of his WWE filming.
No, I don't think it is either.
Or whenever they put that in a can, but because I did see that he has Mark Henry as a guest on one of the teasers that they put out there.
That's probably the WWE deal right there, where he has access to obviously WWE wrestlers or legends.
Cold-blooded saying that Chad having an off season, it would help with the fan fatigue too. I'm not suggesting that we have an off season in pro wrestling. I'm not suggesting that at all. We talked there at the top of the show about what makes them appealing when they're selling this product to distribution. It is that you're producing 52 weeks of supposed must-see live television. It's what makes professional wrestling unique. I'm completely opposed to an off season, but yes, we can rotate talents in and out at certain intervals to give them breaks.
Well,
and that helps. That helps with fan fatigue, though, because we're not seeing the same people over and over.
Well, that's why you're supposed to have 2 different rosters, right? Or 3 different rosters with NXT, I guess. But they never stick to it anyway properly. But what Cold-Blooded said is kind of interesting, because I think, sure, it helps with fan fatigue. But if you did have an off season for, say, 3-4 months, I think it hurts the company. I don't think you'll see as many people tuning in once it's back for whatever reason. That's the feeling I get.
Well, and you talk about that conditioning of the fans because we're used to it for so long. If you give us a break in professional wrestling, and it's one of those things too, I learned real quick in business, like we're renovating the bar.
Right.
And one of the owners wanted to close for a couple of days. You give your clientele a couple of days to go find something else, a good portion are not coming back.
See what I mean?
So you had to rotate around the construction. You either bring them in at night or, you can operate with half of it open. So you give them an opportunity to find value and entertainment elsewhere. There's a good chance a good portion are not coming back to you. We talk about off seasons. The reality of it is, the hottest subject right now, the NFL has a in-game season, regular season. They have a postseason, but they don't stop. Their schedule runs around the clock. Right now, here in the States, Jimmy T, the hottest topic in sports, and I told you asked what I was doing here before the show. I said, I'm just taking a break from wrestling, watching Pat McAfee, watching Colin Cowherd to see what else is going on. Number one topic here in sports is the NFL releasing their schedule Thursday. They're just announcing what the games are going to be. And everyone's hyped up about that. A month ago, it was the draft where we would just pick them, where we're just picking players. And yes, you SOBs down there get the first game of the year in Australia. No. The internet, it's going to kick everything off there. It's going to be on Wednesday night.
Yeah, not just that. What's funny about that, it's almost they're doing almost like a Super Bowl feel because there's rumors that Beyonce is going to be performing at halftime at our game down here in Melbourne, Australia for the 49ers against the Rams.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is become a tradition here where the defending champs would host that big first game. We would do it on a Thursday, but the NFL in their winter meetings expressed their top interests. One was international growth, and that means more international games. That their revenue is crazy, their distribution there is crazy. So international games and flag football are the number two priorities for the NFL. But they don't stop. It's year round, and everything they do becomes the biggest deal in sports. It supersedes everything. I mean, you've got second round, great action of the NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs. And the most excitement, what everyone's talking about right now, is the juggernaut of the NFL and just who's going to play each other what week, who's going to be the prime time games. That's all the focus is on.
Dude, I kid you not. You know me, I'm a big NBA fan, right? For example. But this season is the first time I've noticed that I feel like it's not getting spoken about that much, dude. Like, I'm not even really hearing much about the playoffs compared to all this NFL stuff that's going on, which is bizarre to me.
Where everyone always says, we need wrestling to be more like sports. Well, no, sports becoming more like wrestling. And the NBA is certainly because lack of superstars and storytelling right now. Is a very bland league right now. It's very balanced. It's 50-50 booking. It's kind of like AEW. It's kind of like AEW. There's too many big spots. And the only thing I would suggest is too much high scoring, too many high spots. But I will suggest that the NBA, their players, when they flop, they sell a hell of a lot better than the AEW wrestlers.
I hate to admit it, but you're right. It's true, man. And that's what's screwing up their game and their league in particular, whereas the NFL, like you said, it's become such a juggernaut now and it's spreading worldwide too. The game down here is nearly sold out, dude.
It will be. It's going to be a spectacle. They're going to make it look like a Super Bowl.
Bro, there's going to be over 100,000 people at this game. That's a fact. The stadium they're in holds over 100,000 and it's going to be full. And
you know what they're going to be? You know what they're going to be served at that tailgate?
Kangaroo,
baby, kangaroo.
You got to talk about that actually.
We'll hit it on the end of it. Yeah, I guess teaser, stick around. I'll tell you my experience. In honor of Slim Jimmy T and Pierce Austin, I had some kangaroo this past Sunday. So,
God damn it, he did it before me, and I don't even dare to try it. I don't know what got you in the.
I had to get myself psyched. It was just for you guys. I had to get myself psyched up to do it, man, because I thought about it for a while, even up to that last minute to order, and I was like. And I even thought about trying to change my order after I'd done it, but once I got it, I just closed my eyes and just took that first.
I don't know why. I almost feel like I was you, like eating it, like even though I didn't eat it, I didn't taste it. But for some reason, through you, I felt like I tasted it.
Well, let's talk about something we know that is usually pretty tasty. This ties into the Backlash and SmackDown headlines from this week. What were your thoughts on the celebration of life for the gingerbread man? Just for those that don't know, this past Friday, we had a running theme throughout SmackDown. Obviously, 2 weeks ago, we saw Sami Zayn just destroy the gingerbread man. Then this past Friday, we had a celebration of life. We had visitation services throughout the show. We saw some of the great highlights of the gingerbread man's life, being there at all the big moments for WrestleMania. Hogan and The Rock, Hogan and Andre, in the audience when the streak ended. All of the good times that he shared with Yachty and Trick when they were out in all of their crazy adventures. Then Friday night at the end, as we're having the ceremony there in the ring, Sami Zayn comes out and says enough is enough. He knows what this whole thing was about. It was a rib on him, rubbing it into his face that nobody likes him anymore. He's trying to push his buttons, but the Ginger Man, powered up from the Trick Taker, Gingerbread Man rose from the casket. Revealed himself to be a little Yachty, had the candy cane in hand, and beat down Sami Zayn on the go home to Backlash. Obviously, we saw at Backlash, Trick Williams picks up the big win over Sami Zayn. What did you think of the entire ordeal?
I love the gingerbread man thing, to be honest. I'm not going to lie. But, a part of me thinks, have we stooped this low to the point where I'm enjoying the gingerbread man? I don't know why, I think I'm thinking that way, but it is funny and there is room for like, haha, especially like this when it comes to gingerbread man and of course Danhausen. But man, they could have done so much more with it. They really could have. I think he's gone way too soon. Hopefully they find a way to just, interject him again. I doubt it though, but they could have sold a lot of merch with the gingerbread man. And unfortunately, I feel like they missed the boat on that one.
Your thing with prolonging this one, I'm going to say it was just enough of what we needed, because that means we got to prolong Sami Zayn and Trick Williams, because that ties in the gingerbread kind of, the pasty cracker kind of theme with it. So
that's what it's really fucking saying.
But as I was watching SmackDown, at first I'm like, okay, this is funny, and I'm picking up right away what's happening. This is a written rib at Sami Zayn to really poke
the gingerbread man is Sami Zayn. Let's be real. That's what the whole thing was.
And even having Sami there with the commentary as this is all going on, he's like, I can't. What people are buying, like, and he's even saying like, Trick paid for this to do this to me,
Right.
So they're letting us in on the joke. They're holding our hand through it. But I'm curious at this point, what are people talking about it? So I think it was just going over a lot of fans' heads.
It was because it never trended, dude. It never trended.
Well, and you could kind of see where I guess things were falling off in the show for it. Right. Maybe they relied a little too heavy on it. Maybe the thought is, man, we're getting all this right with Danhausen. We know how to write comedy now. Let's go hard on this.
They felt that way.
Maybe a little bit. Maybe they
got ahead of themselves.
But the payoff at the end, I popped when Yachty sat up, took the gingerbread head off, and got out and whooped him with that cane. Whooped that Trick.
Absolutely.
Yes. So I popped for that moment. The match itself, the next night, I thought Yachty maybe looked in a little over his head. You could tell he didn't have that experience on a big stage like that.
He doesn't.
He didn't know how to sell in. Things like that, but you're going to get that when you're taking a guy. Sure, he's a lifelong fan. He wants to be here. He's invested with it, but still green as grass out there.
Oh, he's green.
I'm hoping it didn't leave a lot of hope that they actually put this thing to rest. I still think we're going to get something to wrap these two up, but we're closer to the end of Sami Zayn and Trick Williams than we were at the beginning.
And that's fine as long as Trick goes over all the way here, man. That's cool. I get it. But I think everybody's sick of Sami Zayn, to be honest. Maybe he should go away for a little bit so we can at least miss him for a while. But like
all the photos were hilarious with it.
Photoshopped into really what's it called? Was it really popped a watch along? Yeah, for sure. The gingerbread man was money, man. I mean, they could have done more, but like you said, that means prolonging Trick and Sami. And Trick needs to move on from here already at this point. He already got the big win by winning the title. If we are going to have another match, which we did at Backlash, obviously, again, that match was possibly in the top 2 best matches of the night, maybe even top 3. But again, I want to see Trick. Well, that I know. That's why I thought about it even more. I'm like, there's only 5 matches, but no, really, I did enjoy it as one of my favorite matches though on the night. But I do want to see Trick move on from here now, and hopefully he has a better opponent to play off of. Because, to be honest, they've got chemistry, but it really was. It was taking
I will say I am a bit more intrigued now that we are starting to see a little bit more frustration, aggressiveness, anger from Sammy. Where is that going here? There is also the intrigue. You know, we've got the teasers out there on social media. Kevin Owens ready to return, and those two are always tied together. Is he going to play into this somehow? So I'm not as checked out on Sammy as I was, say, 2 weeks ago. But I don't know if there's still enough intrigue to hold me invested in a program with them. I think so many of us out there are ready to get back to where we should have been.
Right.
Potentially something with Trick and Carmelo to start telling that story to really set that what could be a classic rivalry for years to come on the main roster. We know they've got their history in NXT, but I'm talking main roster going forward here. Are we ready to pull the trigger on that? It is really a perfect example of what are the future plans for these call-ups here that they're getting behind. We have got a group that is in that late 30s, 40s that could be starting to face it. They're in a very interesting transition phase between these eras right now. And I think it's one the likes that we have never seen before. And I
never,
this transition, it's so different than when we saw the golden era, the rock and wrestling transition to the next gen, from next gen into the attitude. This one is so wide up because the business model is so different.
It's fair call. It's true. And I don't remember a time, Rick, where we've had so many 40-year-olds on the top of the card. I mean, we can easily point out
even people that have been there for a while. What worries me isn't the top of the card. These guys that are in their late 30s, 40s, or the veterans, if you will, because that has changed. Your veterans, that doesn't worry me. It's the up and coming. We go across. So Trick came in with that first group. Trick, Oba, Javon. Those 3 had been lights out. Those 3, we all agree. But there are others that were called up, like a Jordan Grace, Julia, who we'll talk about here.
Jordan Grace, did she get called up?
That was a part of those. She came up about that same with those guys.
And she's done nothing.
Stephanie Vaquer, Julia. All those, they were big. Those were big misses on that first round of call-ups. We got the 3. We got the 3 studs. Dude. We got the 3 diamonds. But the other ones, and in this latest round of call-ups, they are failing big time.
Except for JC Jane and her crew, obviously, I think are the only ones that are kind of successful.
One more thing I want to touch on here, and I just want to touch on it from the Backlash perspective. What happened there? Because we're going to talk about the developments that happened to fall out on Raw. I didn't get to catch you guys cover the main event on the post-show party, you and MSG. So what were your thoughts just on the match? Jacob Fatu challenging Roman Reigns for the heavyweight championship.
Honestly, I didn't really like it. I thought it failed to deliver, because I had really high expectations for that match, in my opinion. But it just there was something off about that match that I just didn't enjoy. There was a lot of no selling, like even the finish. Okay, you got Roman that spears him right for the 1, 2, 3, and then Jacob gets straight back up. Right, he couldn't kick out of the 3 count though, but he gets right back up and then proceeds to absolutely kill Roman after that. So what was the friggin' point of the spear and losing 1, 2, 3 only for him to get straight back up? So you're a loser, and then you beat the shit out of Roman anyway.
I think my biggest question going into that thing was the difference in styles, because it's all gas, no brakes. He's go. Where
you're right,
where Roman matches slow things down. They're very mechanical, maniacal, and with a purpose.
And he's all about psychology more too.
So I was curious how those were going to work. So I thought the match worked a little bit because they would speed it up, let Roman pull it back a little bit. They'd let Jacob show his, let Roman pull. So it is that power struggle. Which style they're measuring each other out. Which style is going to, rule overall here? Roman starts realizing in this match he might have underestimated Jacob Fatu, and you start seeing that there is all gas, no brakes. It's almost impossible to stop this guy. So how does Roman get the win? It is an outside interference, but he does use the exposed turnbuckle. So that was enough to stun the werewolf. And that's all he was looking to do, was stun for a 3 count. Right. That's why he got up so quick, because he was just stunned and phased there for a moment.
Yeah, but then I don't know, it just took me out of it. Even though, yes, he was stunned, but he just seemed like he didn't sell it enough for me. I
think that is the point of it. I mean, it's one of those things when you're taking down a wild beast like that, you're trying to stun it to survive it. Now the next question is how do you if you can kill it? Now, and I know that there's speculation, you go immediately to Jacob goes on the attack post-match, more vicious than ever. Yeah, that's because he realized that he isn't going to taste that reward that he was going after. That made him more hungry, more vicious. He needs to unleash more hostility, become much more dangerous. I didn't see, that wasn't any sort of heel turn. That was like powering up. That was evolving. That was taking his his need for that position to the next level and showing that he will do anything. And it leaves Roman kind of thinking like, much more doubt in his mind that he underestimated his family member here. That's what I took from the match at Backlash. Now we'll hold our thoughts because we're going to get back to it. We'll do a little teaser because we're going to get that where we get the Raw, because we did get some fallout and we got much more developments in the Samoan Civil War there.
No, absolutely. No doubt about it.
The modern day werewolf. Prison werewolf. Prison werewolf. It is kind of funny. It is kind of funny though that he regularly talks about wanting more money, needing more, and he's all dressed to the nines. He's got to do his.
Yeah, see, doesn't that take it out of it? Take you out of that though? We discussed that even on the Backlash review show. Like, doesn't that take you out of this whole thing? Because why? He's being a walking, talking contradiction. Literally, you say you want
that does hurt it. That's on someone in the back. Like, wait a minute here. And it's just like with Cody out there saying, "Oh, I'm the average Joe." I'm just like
you are, Cody.
Like nobody dresses like that, drives around up. No. It's like, those are the small details that somebody creative that are laid us out.
You can't relate to that shit, even though they're trying to make you relate to that, but you can't.
Yeah. So we did a Backlash Saturday night. But let's rewind back to Friday because there were some major headlines, some happenings there on SmackDown. It didn't pertain to Backlash. So some things we want to set up, get everybody ready for this upcoming Friday with SmackDown. So we'll just call this our SmackDown breakdown rewind. One of our major things we found out, one of the what's this about? One of the points of intrigue, the cliffhangers that we've been waiting for a payoff on. Well, we got our answer here, Jimmy T. Gunther has called in his major favor. The Ring General is officially a part of the Blue brand, buddy.
So that was the favorite all along?
Well, I don't know all along, but it sounds like, hey, we got to come up with something to do here. Why not sit on this thing maybe and wait? Like Gunther couldn't get this job done himself,
I agree with you 100%. These people have no idea what the fuck they're doing right now, dude. I hate to say it, man, and usually I give WWE the benefit of the doubt, but in 2026, they're literally running around. We've got a saying here in Australia. You know when a chicken continues to run without their heads on their shoulders? Well, we call them, they're running around like headless chooks. And that's how I feel like this creative team is acting. And it really, look, we can laugh and say, haha, they're using AI to book this shit. But come on, Rick.
You know what?
It's doesn't look that way.
Hold on. No, I think, because I've played with this. I've gone over to ChatGPT, asked them to write some wrestling programs, some angles for me. Yeah. And they're way better than what we're getting. So I welcome our computer overlord creative team, because whatever the hell they're doing right now is terrible. Give it to the machines. Put it.
Then
Matrix Mania should take over booking.
Well, then I'm all for it. If Chat GPT, AI, whatever, can do a more streamlined storyline than WWE, the WWE running team, then heck, fuck it. I'm all in for it too.
I've told you this. This move for Gunther to SmackDown is a test to how good he is, or see how good he is going to be. It's going to be a test towards that, because they desperately need somebody that can go out there and get Cody Rhodes all the cheers. And Gunther has been a heat magnet.
But that's what he's perfect for, right?
He's one of those people like Drew McIntyre. As much as we love, respect as the fans, that, you know, the inside the bubble and all that, he can still generate heat. He can still get boos, especially from a general audience.
Because he's so good, man. He gets it. That's why.
Right. So right now, especially what you just went through at WrestleMania, where not only did you split the audience, it was like 80% Randy Orton and very like 20% maybe to hear some Cody chants somewhere in there. You know, they're looking to try to rectify this. They're trying to get Cody back to that hot white meat baby face. Right. And I think Drew's on vacation, but he's already had that opportunity where he did great with Cody, kept the audience pretty much in favor of Cody. They have no one else that could do that except for Gunther. No, Cody needs Gunther.
You're not 100% right. Gunther and Drew are the only two probably in this whole company that are able and talented enough to actually achieve that.
I would think Kevin Owens can also do that. He's pretty good at it as well.
Yeah, but he's another one that gets cheered, even though he's meant to be booed per se.
But he's pretty good. He's pretty good at getting that heat back on himself, though.
Because he's really good at actually getting heat, right? He's good at even playing the heel on top of that. But I just hope it works out, because it can still backfire on Cody, man. Because the fans could all...
What's going to watch here is the test how good Gunther is. Can he keep the heat?
He's good enough to do it. I truly believe he is good enough to do it. But we got to see how this is going to play out, man, for now, we'll give it the benefit of the doubt, obviously. But I don't like the fact, if this was the friggin' favor, this is piss poor booking once again.
Yeah, it's just rush booking. It's just, let's get it out of the way. We didn't have anything before. We don't have anything now. Let's just move on. That's what it was. A little long running thing here, but we saw some of the wheels were turning. The stories were intertwining last week. You know, I put that over to you. We got some continuance of it here. We'll start off with Tama Tonga defeats Damian Priest. So it keeps my family tree kind of in that tag team hunt picture. A big win here for Tama Tonga over Damian Priest. Well, post-match, we got my family tree. They're beating down the champs, the tag team champs, out for the save. This is the intrigue that we talked about last week. Here comes Royce Keys. I like this. I'm liking this involvement. I'm still on board with Royce Keys needs direction. I think it'd be a great program with him and Solo through the summer here to get him something that we can get invested in. He's got to overcome an obstacle in a dirty-minded, do-anything heel and a monster. I like that there. So we got those wheels turning. My family tree still kind of poking the nose into that tag picture if we need somebody to pop up from time to time on a weekly show to get a challenge in there. I think the other one, though, here is, again, you have that sets up Royce Keys. He wants my family tree. He wants Solo, but they send Tama Tonga out, and my family tree will not help Tama Tonga. So Royce Keys, in turns, defeats Tama Tonga. We got a lot going on here, Jimmy. There's a lot of stories interacting with each other because we got the continued heat building, dissension, breakup between Tama Tonga and Solo. On the backside of that, Nakamura's there again, knocking on the door to Tama Tonga. Hey, I'll take care of you. Let's get this right. This has been going on for a while here, and I liked Royce Keys getting kind of involved here, maybe a direction for him as well.
Well, about time they gave him something to do, right? They fed him a bone, and he's finally got something to look forward to, and hopefully now he's on television week in, week out for the foreseeable future. But again, like with the release, go for it.
You look at some of these call-ups, Royce Keys might be one of the ones that are better off. You know, he had a big debut at the Rumble. He wins the Andre the Giant. Debuts at his hometown. They didn't give him stupid packages, and he is not going out there and putting over the stars. So I look good, and he's not doing that. He's kind of slowly going into the deep end. Sure, he didn't make a big splash like Oba, Trick, or Javon, but he's not getting embarrassed like some of these other ones.
No, they've been, I don't know if you want to call it careful with his push so far, but I still think WWE really didn't know what to do with him. And then now they just figured, yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying? So we'll see. Again, I'm not going to put 100% trust in what they do with Royce Keys because they can screw this up any moment now, and I'm just hope I'm wrong when it comes to that.
I'm intrigued with the direction. It looks like he's got something going here. Anytime you're going to be involved, potentially where those wheels are turning, you could overlap with anything happening with the Samoans. You're in a safe spot. You're going to get featured somewhere. A guy that isn't getting featured properly, I don't think, that maybe his future isn't as bright, great potential as Royce Keys. Forget about last week, Jimmy, because the revolution starts now, this past week. Ricky Aints.
Oh, boy.
Couldn't beat Cody. We're going to get beat up his buddy that only has one win in the company since his return. He beats Matt Cardona. My only thing I had here, are we impressed? Did they sell us that Ricky Saints has superstardom written all over him?
Absolutely not, Rick, unfortunately for Ricky, because first of all, look at the size difference in between Cardona and Saints, okay? Yes, Ricky Saints won, but I can't take it seriously.
That imagery was
I'm sorry.
Something we thought we were prepared for, but to see the contrast, the difference in men was like shocking.
It's shocking.
Like Rick, this guy is a pro wrestler. This guy is a pro, and then Ricky Aints.
I mean, dude, I hate to say it. I'm sorry, Ricky. It's nothing personal, man. But he's gonna struggle like this compared to everybody. What's he supposed to do? Face luchadors for the rest of his WWE career? I mean, that's the only way you can make him look good, probably. Otherwise,
his call up should have came during the United States Open Challenge, where there was guys his size all competing for something. Right. That would have been a proper spot for him. At this point, we should have had weeks of vignettes getting to know this character, getting to know how cocky he is. A slow, but no, they just bring him out against Cody last week. They hit the silence there in the arena when he debuted with it.
That was bad, dude. Right.
It not even much better this week. So Ricky Saints down, they got down in New Orleans where he's named after here. They got a little saying for their team. Who that? Who that? That's what the audience says when he comes into the arena. Who that? Who that? That's Ricky Aints. Ricky
Aints. I love that name, by the way. Rick, that's awesome. Ricky Aints, he is. I mean, unfortunately for him, man, it's just the fans don't give a shit. But again, it's not his fault. That's obviously WWE's fault for not telling the majority of the fan base, the more casual fan base, whatever you want to call them, on who he is and where did he come from. But then again, you got people like Ethan Page, who's completely opposite in some ways. But then again, he's got size.
Got a little size, got a better look. You can understand there. He's better on the microphone. He's getting a little bit better push out, but we're going to talk about him as well. Hey, Tiffy Stratton. It's still titty time. She retains the United States Championship. She defeats Person Boots, Kiana James. Of course, this comes, last week. Kiana was trying to, she represents Julia, trying to get Julia a rematch. He said, "No, why don't you take the match?" Well, we get a little more development here in this story, some turmoil between the business associates. Julia refuses to help, let's see, not her friend, again, her business associate. Tiffy picks up the win. I guess the more of the story here is the continued turmoil, eventual breakup coming here of James and Julia.
Any day now.
Who becomes the babyface between these two?
I don't know, because that's a good one, man. Because both of them are not really liked, if you get my drift. Like, I'm not sure. I can see JC Jane possibly. I mean, were you talking about? Was it Kiana James? Sorry,
Kiana James.
Right, because there's so many frigging Jameses and Masons and shit in this company. Anyway, it's easy to get confused. I think Kiana James will be the baby face in this, to be fair. overall. I think the fans want to cheer her, to be honest.
All right, you know more about Julia's past than I do.
Right.
Does she work as a babyface?
No, why? She couldn't get over as a friggin' heel. How's she going to get over as a babyface, dude?
Well, maybe that's the sympathy here. I mean, because we don't have any connection to her. We don't really know anything about her except that she just
we need connection.
Radically yells things sometimes. She's a wrestling machine that just has Tourette's. I mean, that's what her character is.
That's a wrestling machine with Tourette's. Oh boy, that's good. That is very good. Until they give us more about who she is, she's set up to fail either way, even as a babyface or a heel. They're still not giving us anything, Rick. So until then, how is she supposed to succeed? Really? She can't. She's indifferent. The fans are indifferent to her.
Real quick on Frank's thing, I don't want to pull it up, but yeah, she's actually married to some white dork, man. It just blew me away. I looked it up, but yeah,
no,
dude. I was intrigued by it. I went down that rabbit hole.
That make me look it up now.
I think in their mind, they obviously see more of a future in Kiana James.
They see more of a future, you saying?
Yes. There's gimmicks. They pop out. You know, they're easy to see her coming. I would throw out there, if Kiana just kind of pulls a swerve and aligns herself with the "where the hell is my Blake Monroe hat?"
Still, dude, what the fuck is?
That's how they keep getting me intrigued on this. I keep waiting for the Blake Monroe to show up. You know what? Maybe it's gonna be a perfect world, and I'll get Blake Monroe the same week that they go to 2 hours, and everything will be fine in the universe.
Well, that's till then. Everything will be fun. But like Morte says about Julia, by the way, short answer is nobody cares, and that's exactly the problem.
I'm rooting for her. I want the vet to have someone to get invested. That wants to care about to cheer for. I know she can go. I'm just trying to figure out what is the direction there for her. We talk about the women, Jimmy. We had a big return. The bitch is back. Jade Cargill. She makes her return. I'm gonna slam my head into my microphone there because unfortunately she still has B-Flop and Munchies with her. The baddies reemerge, and their influence helps Fatal Influence pick up a big win over Rhea Ripley, Charlotte, and Bliss.
So we're supposed to be intrigued by these three women now, especially Munchies and
so we got two villainous trios factions, and Jade and the baddies, Fatal Influence. We've got Ripley with Charlotte and Bliss. So that's kind of our women's direction. I guess our top tier women's direction there.
That is a top tier women's direction. Absolutely.
I think maybe like the biggest story with this here is we talk about the recent call-ups, some failures in this. They see something in Fatal Influence. They are giving these girls an opportunity.
And you know what? As they should, because I think so far so good when it comes to Fatal Influence. But see, there's the thing. They're giving them a bone and they're hitting it out the park. But I feel like they're not really doing that for everybody. If you're going to do it for one, do it for all. And let them get over, man, and see where they can take it. If they can't get over from a little push in the back, then they've earned to get released.
And I see with these three, they're just not getting a slight rub from these big spots. They're getting big moments with some of these established names.
Absolutely.
Jane and them has come out there. She's already got pins on Charlotte and Bliss. You know, they beat down the champ. They had a big interaction with them. They're for weeks now running a program against three of the top names in the women's division, and they're succeeding. And now you got the former champ Jade out there, who I it's not a full-on partnership, but they do realize, hey, there's benefits of us maybe working together. Eventually, they're going to butt heads at some point. So it's going to be the baddies versus Fatal. So, I mean, they're giving them opportunities to look good.
No, absolutely. They're giving them opportunities to look good, and that's my issue. Are they giving everyone else the opportunities to look good? Why these three women, but not everyone else?
You were talking about future endeavors. It's Rick's talking about with the baddies. How these two, how B-Flop and Munchies are not even allowed to wrestle WWE, but anywhere in professional wrestling, I would just actually have them deported from the United States. Even I know they're citizens, but just revoke that. That's how bad these people are.
Just deport him.
Yes.
That'd be a good storyline.
So many better options to fill out that faction. But
well, do you think maybe WWE actually went to Jade Cargill and actually said if there was anyone, that you would maybe want in your faction, do you think they gave her an opportunity to actually maybe possibly she might have been the one that picked this?
No.
You don't think so?
No. Jade Cargill knows what could get over.
Right.
Maybe the only thing that she would see positive of Bebop and Munchies is that there's no way they'll steal her spotlight, but not realizing that they're just going to diminish it.
Yeah, no. But that's the problem. What you just said.
I still just think of how different this would have been if the baddies were Kalani Jordan and Miss Parker.
Oh my God, that would have been cool though, because they all look like badasses, man. Legit.
Right.
So. But again, for whatever reason, do you think, there's some people that think they're sabotaging Jade for whatever reason, which just sounds stupid to me. But then I
don't think they are. This doesn't help that case, the counter argument being paired with these two. But
see, why would they pair them two with her? Because they do nothing with them?
Probably because they get paid nothing, and that they're like, okay, just go out there and take bumps. They're there to just help Jade's segment
be a foil. Yeah, I guess, man, but it doesn't make it look good. She doesn't even need them, to be honest.
Well, that's enough talk about that because it's way too much.
Move on.
Hurts my brain.
Yeah.
Wait, we'll switch gears. Let's head on over to last night, Monday Night Raw. Little Raw dogging. And this is we'll kick things off. We'll start. We'll just jump right in here to the meat of Raw last night, and that is Jacob Fatu. Must acknowledge the OTC. If he doesn't, he's got to go. Roman brought him in. Roman's going to kick him out. Unless Jacob acknowledges him.
Didn't he say he wants to deport him or some shit like that? They were trying to deport him.
Let's go get him out of here. Get him out of the WWE. Brought him in here. So Roman shows up. Again, he ain't carrying that damn belt around that travels with WWE. Why isn't it waiting for him? But Pierce was like, listen here, man, I don't think this is a good idea. We saw what happened, how Jacob Fatu snapped in a loss, how he handled that. He took out security. He took out agents. He took out Pierce. Pierce doesn't want him in the building, doesn't want him around his staff. Not for the safety of everybody in the arena. Jacob Fatu will stay away, but Roman says, nah. He's the tribal chief. He's the one that brought Fatu in. He's the one that's going to take him out. They're going to handle family business. So we're waiting on Jacob to get here through the night. Lo and behold, man, ETA right on it. They must have had him in that in the Lyft Uber app. You can see right when he's arriving at the arena. That's when we fire up the main event segment. Roman is out with Jimmy. Jay's waiting in the back. Hopefully he can meet Fatu and talk a little sense into him. The Uso brothers are just trying to defuse the situation, man. They're trying to put it out before the bomb goes off.
Right.
That's not going to work because the Fatu's coming out. He just lays waste to Jay. Jimmy gets it away. He gets beat up. Old Slim Jim, Big Jim, he gets beat up there. Then it's between Roman and Jacob. And they immediately go back at it. Roman on the attack, laying it to him. Back and forth here for a little bit, but the werewolf wears the tribal chief down, hits him with the tongue and death grip, takes him out, puts him through the table, puts him through the ringside railing. Very vicious close there. We have got the werewolf at an all new level. He is so close to me. He is so close now that he could taste it. He literally tasted it. He
literally did taste it, right?
He's tasted. Taste it.
He
licking that thing. So we'll start with this.
Right.
All right, go. We'll start with this one. Is this the write-off of Roman Reigns already? We know he's gone for June, but we've got a couple weeks left. I mean, we're only in the middle of the month here, and it's a long month.
I think he's not gone just yet. I could be way off though on that.
That was a vicious beatdown.
That's why I said
and
I could be way off.
They've been telling us how devastating that tongue and death grip is, and he was hitting it hard the last couple of times we've seen Roman.
Yeah, I think we might see him one more week, possibly, and then we'll see him take his sabbatical. But he'll still be champion when he goes away, and then we're gonna have no bout on Raw, for example, for God knows how long, and then we're back to square one again.
Kind of also with Fatu, and I know some people say, that was heel tactics at the end of the match. I think it's just the evolution, and you've got the tweener, you got this loose cannon willing to do anything. I think it's just part of the character, but it was interesting. Backlash, kind of a split, they get fired up for Roman, they get fired up for Jacob. This was a lot more pro Jacob. I'm still wondering if they're just cheering the violence or if we're getting support behind one of the superstars.
That's a great question. Again, I mean, you make me think about it. I think it's a bit of in column A and column B. I'm sure there's people that enjoy racing and going that fast and whatnot that are big fans of the pubs too, shall I say. So I don't know, man. I don't know about that, but I don't know. I'm intrigued still. I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Tastes like kangaroo.
You know what scared me? I'll be honest.
It tastes terrible. The gold tastes terrible. It tastes like kangaroo.
No, I'm sure he tasted CM Punk's balls though.
Hey,
and cheese crud.
Let me ask you this. A follow-up question though. If this is Roman being written off, because we know he's gone for June. We haven't heard that when is Clash at the Castle? Look that up for me real quick.
It is the next pay-per-view. We're 2 weeks from next Saturday. I believe they said that.
Look up the actual date. Look up the actual date. So they might run this back again at Clash in Paris, because we just got Roman gone because he's not working Saudi. So we might have another thing there. But I'm curious here. The reason I'm asking you to look up that date is because if Roman is leaving, and we know he's gone through June, the whole Jacob Fatu next level viciousness is about that title. What do you do with him in the meantime?
That's a good question. Again, I don't know. Like, what can you do with him right now, in your opinion, Rick?
I mean, does he he's been working both shows. Does he just go back and kind of interject himself into the Gunther Cody situation? What we do know, right? We're getting Cody and Gunther at Castle, correct?
That's right. We're definitely getting that. And it is happening, by the way, on the 26th of May. Oh, sorry, 31st of May this month.
Okay.
In Turin, Italy.
They could run that back there. That's where you would write Roman off. So we're going to see. Maybe we get some. Maybe this isn't Roman going away. We'll get some kind of announcement. Maybe they run back the Samoans as part of that big show. First time ever major event pay-per-view PLE there.
Yeah, interesting. I'm looking forward to that just to see how it's going to look in Italy. But I don't know, Rick. We'll see what happens. But
just interested with the timing. But so we still got a couple weeks and that we do have a big event. But we know Roman is gone for June and the Saudi show. So it'd be interesting again where Fatu goes in that time. Also opening this show. Hey, we had a big way. Some hot names, some big stars, big crowd reactions. It is the Street Profits and Joe Henry. They're at 6-man action against the Vision. Of course, we open this thing with the war of words on a microphone. Heyman and his crew out here. I got to tell you again, I know I was beating this drum last week. It just again sets in with me. The Vision are nothing but a bunch of dorks. There is nothing. These guys are so miscast. I know we're not supposed to like them,
bro.
I know we're not supposed to like them, but they should be one of the such insufferable, cocky, over athletic. The cool kids table that you hate it. That's who they should be. Now they're just coming off as dorks. None of them fit their personalities. Their merch doesn't look cool. Their music sucks. I mean, these guys have the potential to be like a modern day, they could be like the combination of a modern day Varsity Club meets the main roster version of the Vanity Project. Ooh. That's what they should be. Hey, and one of them's Yeah, one of them's dad. Ron's dad was in the varsity club. These
That's
guys should
true.
be the uber athletes, get all the women. They got all the looks. You
True.
should have Heyman. Hey, anyone calling in huge favors for Paul Heyman's because it's getting contracts done. It's getting deals done, right? Obviously, that's what they had was believe with Gunther. So Paul should be getting them endorsement deals. He should be setting them up with, the private, just not private transportation, private locker rooms, private catering. We should be getting all that from these guys. These guys should be elevated so much that's why we dislike them. But no, they're none of that. Logan Paul is nothing like the real Logan Paul that is the true uber heel in real life. I don't know what the hell he's playing out here. Austin Theory at one point was a wrestler for a young, cocky, you just want to see punched in the face superstar.
Right. And he was better back then too.
And Braun Breaker is just a badass athlete that you want to see do badass things. That's 100%. Where these guys should be, and they are nowhere near that. They are freaking dorks, and not in a, hey, let's get heat on them. It's like, no, you are losers. You are not cool in any way when these guys should be.
You're right. You hit the nail on the head. They're a bunch of dorks, even though they're trying to be tough dorks, whatever the hell they're trying to be. Again, man, I can shit on this creative so many times. I have no idea what they're trying to do.
The vision. It's such a stupid name. That's for Seth Rollins. We need to get
but there's no vision though, Rick. That's another issue. Where's the vision?
Oh, they need to move on from that. They need to rebrand this entire group now. Immediately. That I don't know. Let's think tank that. Give it to AI, or not give it to creative. But vision thing sucks. Your vision is blurred. It sucks, and it needs to go.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. Cold Blooded says though they need to drop the vision name and rename the Logan Pals. Logan's Pals.
Anything is better at this point. The cool kids table, something like they've got the athleticism of the varsity club. They've got the cocky, just I hate you, want to see you punch in the face appeal of the vanity. Problem, like the Vanity Project actually looks like they're in high school. These guys should just be grown men with that personality, with those attitudes.
100%.
But anyway, they're out on the microphone here. We do get a big pop here again for Joe Henry. Perfect. I'll give him credit on this creative move here. He's going through. Braun Breaker's ready to go anytime. Austin Theory's ready to go anything. And me, Logan, Paul, and then you hear Paul, and it perfect in there. Crowd pops for it. You get to sing along. Can we please stop having Michael Cole get involved in this thing? You would talk about here's how dorky the vision is right now. Michael Cole would actually make them cooler. That's how bad it is for them. Anything you try to do with Michael Cole, trying to get involved here, I know it's supposed to be ironic. It's a rib on it. Stop with it here. We get the match itself, though. The match is par, for course, right? Wasn't that bad. But I really feel like, Jimmy, it was just 30 minutes of sitting around waiting for Seth Rollins to get involved in this thing.
Yeah, because that's essentially what it was. Correct. I mean, that's what we're getting to.
Three commercial breaks just to get Seth Rollins to help the babies get the win.
Yeah, from first to last when it comes to Rollins, because we started off with him and we ended it with him. But did the fans start booing him, if I remember correctly? They were all behind Braun, dude, even when Rollins was going for it.
Again, a lot of it is they're cheering that violence, because when he starts hitting those spears, people love it. Because Braun still gets kind of the upper hand there at the end. The division loses, but it's Dawkins who eats that big spear after Seth sidesteps it. And then you also have the story of there again with Montez, like, we don't want you. No one likes you. No one trusts you. Get out of our business.
Yeah, I mean, and I love the little ribs that they were doing to him about his woman being pregnant, shall we say.
Oh, you know what? Here's another thing with this. They're in Knoxville, Tennessee, home of the Tennessee Volunteers. If you're going to play into like the cheap pop, they completely missed the boat on that. Completely missed the boat. Montez Ford has his seed in a all-American top star at Tennessee. That's where Bianca went. That's where she ran track.
Right, it's true. Yeah,
he could have came out instead of just the Rocky Top. Instead of that, he could have put over. I know my kid's going to be a stud because he's got volunteer roots. Putting over the ties. that they're having that is, a Tennessee baby. There's so much they could have done there just to get that great little cheap pop there and completely missed the boat on it.
You're right. They completely missed the boat on it, and they continue to miss boats galore with all sorts of things, though, Rick. That's another thing that's worrying.
Yeah. We do have Adam Page. We get an announcement coming up for Saturday night's main event coming up May 23rd. We got that Saturday night's main event, and then we've got the Clash in Italy.
Yeah.
Adam Page is going to be challenging Penta, but tonight we are going to get Javon Evans, who defeats Rusev. Page is out there. He's a chess player, man. He's putting the pieces in there. Penta wants to go tonight. He's a fighting champion. Page is going to wait. Rusev a little upset, though. He thought they had some chemistry, him and Page, and he's a little pissed at Page, maybe feeling like he undercut him, stepped out of the line, going to get this championship opportunity. Page is very quick. He diverts the situation, redirects Rusev's attentions towards Javon Evans. Javon Evans picks up a big win over here over the Brute, the Bulgarian Brute Rusev. I was a little surprised that it ended with a clean finish.
I was definitely surprised, but I'm happy that Ethan Page, gets his comeuppance too here. But the thing is, it felt like, it's funny because it really felt like an AEW thing here. I mean, when you look at it, all these guys were interacting with each other in AEW also not too long ago, and here they are all on the big stage in WWE, which is something to see. But even Rusev right now, do you really think they got anything really for him moving forward?
Yeah, I was excited last week. I thought there was some great chemistry there. I hope that they can keep the thing a positive thing moving forward with him and Page. I hope those guys stay together. I think they could play off of each other very well. What we got over? Frank was saying, how is Penta not a megastar? He is. He's over big time everywhere he goes. I think he's doing great there. He's great there in that mid-card position right now. I think maybe he should be up in that main event, but you look at the slow growth with Penta, probably one of the better ones they've done. They haven't overrushed him. They've kind of slowly let that build. They realize what they've got with him, and I think there's a lot of big things coming for Penta in the future. But that guy's over everywhere he goes, man. People freaking love him. Love the dude. He's been selling merch like freaking crazy. He's got a ton of stuff available over there. The mask sell, the gloves sell, the whole get-up sells, T-shirts, all of that.
Well, I was going to say that, Rick. I mean, name me a cooler looking luchador in the history of freaking luchadors.
Well, he cuts a better promo than 90% of the roster that speaks English. He's out there cutting better promos. He's got great body language that wears a mask. Dude's got money all over him. But we got those matches set up. Javon Evans picks up a big win there. This is what I got here in my notes. FML, who keeps giving Paige and Bree live microphones. We got the women's tag team champs out. They're calling out the Judgment Day. They said that they were called over to Raw for a challenge. Where are these girls at? This was brutal. And then the back and forth between, like they thought were like rips. Like they're trying to make fun of each other. Everyone exposed is just piss poor on the microphone. It's just terrible all around. Bree and Paige should not have microphones, live microphones. They're actually miscast. I don't know why they feel the need to put these belts up. They need to. The division was actually moving in a decent direction, had good focus going into WrestleMania, and then they just slammed the door on it by going with trying to relive the Divas division.
Unfortunately,
the only line I really liked in this one, because we had just some lame-o lines. Bree cannot deliver anything. Paige is so cookie cutter in this. Raquel was trying to make sense that she could. The only line I really liked in there that really hits kind of home, that was a personal shot, is when Roxy was talking about, you remember me meeting as your kid, and you said, I could be the next one to carry this division. And then looked at Bree and said, you let me down because you set the bar so low.
Wow. Really? God damn.
I thought that one was good. That was the only part that I took. So next week, just real quick on this, we're going to get that match next week. So we have to talk about it next week.
Well, hopefully it entertains us. You seem more excited by it. But Yeah, we'll see what happens next week.
Yeah. Tune in for that one. Yeah, that's that'd be a gangbusters. Can we just get that one moved to like Evolve or one of the shows we don't talk about here?
That would be brilliant, bro. Can you imagine that?
Yes.
That would be awesome, but that won't happen, unfortunately.
We kind of touched base on this. Asuka said goodbye. Her and Io have their moment there on Raw. We already touched about that, but I want to talk about the match that Io had. Io defeats Sol Ruka.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people were, they probably put this together because what have we seen from Sol Ruka? All of her video packages haven't been about the character, the free easy, spirited chick, about the 4 years in wrestling, how quickly she's progressed, about coming through the NIL program, all of her accomplishments in college and gymnastics, none of that. Those videos have been a floor routine in Soul Snatchers. So the thought was, let's have her go out there with Io, who was one of our top workers, and put on this amazing display and wow everybody. Well, guess what? It's not so easy when you don't have all week at the Performance Center to practice your match with someone. And Sol Ruka, I think she got exposed in this thing. She was 2 steps behind Io the entire time. Couple botches in here. I don't really know if she knew how to play to a crowd of that size, one that didn't understand or know who she is. There was a lot of things that she did. The surfboard thing, 0 reaction there. We don't even get a story involved. I know they showed beforehand Sol's interaction with Becky the week before. I can't believe they replayed that terrible line, "I'll snatch your soul." They did that, but they didn't even lean into that Io has had some issues with Becky, and Io being disrespected by Becky as not being a fresh new challenger. You could have played that and told a story in the match. Instead, they just came out here and did a floor routine. Io catches her making a mistake on the Soul Snatcher and rolls her up to get the win. Your thoughts on it, Jimmy?
I didn't really like this match either. I don't know if these two women really had such great chemistry as well. And again, do you feel that Sol Ruka...
Io doesn't have bad matches, though.
No, I know that's true. It wasn't a bad match. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't actually a bad match, but...
Is that an indictment on Sol not maybe being ready?
Yeah, actually, more than likely, because look at the way they're treating her, dude. Isn't she supposed to be, supposedly, possibly, the number one baby face on the women's side of things coming through from NXT? She's nothing like that.
I guess. What have they told us? What have they given us to think that?
Well, nothing except for the friggin' what's it called? Her finishing move. And what did she say last week? No,
I'll kick your ass and snatch your soul.
That's it. Snatch your soul. Well, she snatched no soul. The only snatch she snatched was her own snatch, dude. If you get my drift. So, yeah, I'm sorry, Soul. I like you. I'm a fan of yours, but I don't think she's ready, dude. She comes across as nervous.
Two losses on the main roster already. So I mean, this thing that rookies who got struck. Remember when he came as a star, you felt like a big deal. Like you picked up some wins, and then it mattered when you had that first loss and you were brought down.
Right. Unfortunately for Soul, man, it's just not clicking.
We got another round. Well, we thought we were getting another round of the Obafemi Open Challenge.
This is weird the way they did this, right? But I liked it. I still liked it. I just don't understand why. Pierce said what he said.
What did he say that stood out to you? What was it?
Well, he's like, "I'm sorry, Oba, but you're not doing your open challenge today. It's not happening." Like basically,
right? Because nobody wanted to accept it. No one came to him and said, "Hey, we're going to take the match." That's what it was about.
Oh, so they have to go to Pierce first, apparently, and then.
Yep. That's because that's how those things go. Because see, we went with the U.S. Challenge because even Aldis and them would be like, "I got you an opponent here," so it wasn't like this wham thing. Like, so he came out and said nobody wants to accept the challenge. So this is what prompts Oba to go find his own opponent. So he storms the back. Man, I feel bad for who was it, Alberto and Humberto?
Yeah, both of them got absolutely annihilated and thrown around like they were pieces of trash, dude.
Well. Here's the other thing, man. Don't take your date to gorilla position. They're sitting there, macking on some chicks out of nowhere, right there at gorilla position on just some table that's set up.
Wow.
Bad date location. You will talk about dates gone wrong. Imagine that, Jimmy T. You're swiping right on your favorite dating app. You guys go to, "Hey, baby, We'll take you out some fine dining, some drinks. We're going to this hot spot called Gorilla Position, baby.
Oh, yes, it'll be one of these ones actually. Rick, as a matter of fact, it'll be like,
yeah, we're going to the Gorilla Position. We're gonna mac that at the Gorilla Position, and here comes Oba freaking Fabby, pissed off at the world. He grabs these two chumps, drags them out to the ring, beats them to death. Here's how bad he beat them, Jimmy. They actually they blacked out their social media photos. They both disappeared on their
really
blacked out their social media photos.
Man. That's awesome.
Yes. So Alberto and Humberto, best of luck. Best of luck to you guys, man.
Are they on their way of getting future endeavor, do you think, after this?
No, I think this is probably something that probably popped the management. Hey, thanks for doing that, guys.
Definitely.
Maybe we'll see him in AAA or something like that. But speaking of AAA, we had a running theme through this show. History made, Jimmy. History made the first time ever. The Mega Championship, the AAA Mega Championship on the line, defended inside of a WWE ring, even though AAA is a proc. This is in the WWE ring. Monday Night Raw. I got to tell you, this is going to be Dirty Dom, the reigning, defending champion, the challenger, the OG Americano. I'll tell you who stole the show here. The real MVPs, not of just this match, but of the entire weekend. Props to the production team that came up with an A+++ promo packages within minutes. Within minutes, Jimmy. They made this match in the third segment of Monday Night Raw. And not only did they put together one promo package, 3 promo packages, one where OG Americano gave shot footage and gave his perspective of this, one where Dirty Dom shot footage and gave his perspective of it. And you want to know how long those commercial breaks are? You want to know how seriously long those are? They're so long that Corey Graves had time from commentary to do a voiceover for the history of the AAA Mega Championship so that they could hype this match throughout this show.
Holy shit.
They announced this match in the third segment and magically had 3 perfectly put together promo vignettes before the match. That is masterful. The WWE production team, they are top notch. They blow away everybody in Hollywood. That is amazing.
Yeah. That you can absolutely say that the one thing that WWE's always been great at is their production side of things. So I will never doubt them when it comes to that.
Hey, they are on it. They do not mess around.
No, they don't. That's right.
That they put those together. That was absolutely magnificent. And Corey Graves, again, for him, pulling that double duty, he has to call all the matches all night. And then he does an incredible job with a detailed voiceover of the history of AAA and the Mega Championship.
No, you're right. But see, if they can do that, why don't they do that with everyone else?
Yeah. Magnificent how that works.
It's weird, dude.
I don't think they could have done a better job if it was predetermined and they knew it was going to happen.
Unfortunately, you're probably right with that too. That's why I'm confused, Rick. I'm literally my head hurts.
So
I don't understand.
All joking aside with it, the match itself, we got Dirty Dom defending against OG Americana. There was some weird chemistry with these two in the match.
They had no chemistry. No chemistry.
And this whole energy, this vibe that they're trying to present on Raw around the Americanos. Again, I just wrote down this match in the Americana feud should not be on US TV.
Well, it shouldn't be. No, you're right.
It shouldn't be on the U.S. television. It's completely different from what they're telling us in AAA. That's getting this thing over.
Absolutely. And I think we touched on this last week. You watch the feud in AAA, and then you see what they're doing in WWE. What's going on with WWE, the actual main WWE? There's no buzz. There's no fans that are even cheering this shit. There's just nothing. It just feels stale. Over on the AAA side of things, Rick,
it's hot. It's a hot tamale.
Red hot. red hot to the point where even the wrestlers are different. The way they just, the way they're treating it towards each other is completely different to the way they're treating it on on the main roster in WWE. It's night and day, Rick.
It's a hot tamale over there. That's going to be coming up May 30th.
And I recommend you guys all watch it because I'm telling you now, you'll be into it if you watch it on the AAA side of things.
Yes. Go check out the hype for that. You can get it on the YouTube. AAA YouTuber is going to be available. Right. It's going to be available May 30th on their YouTube. We're going to have here a great watch along, I'm sure, with that. I'm definitely going to be there. I'm going to get my Fiesta.
The show's good, dude.
Stuff going. Hey, that mask for mask coming up. Hey, I will put over though, in the silliness with them having the promo packages ready to go. The match itself, just the storytelling is so off base when they're trying to put the American twist in there. I would at least put over that they finally in detail told us where to find AAA. They actually walked you through, said, hey, it is available Saturday nights. It's this great show. You can check out, here's the commentary team. Here's how it works. We want you to be a part of it on the YouTube. So that at least they finally start putting over this product that they've had sitting on their shelf here for almost a year, just a little short of a year, right? They took over last summer.
Yeah, maybe a bit under a year, possibly even still.
It's right around SummerSlam last year.
Right. So. But can I ask, do you think AAA is a money maker for WWE and TKO?
Well, I don't know their financials, so I don't know what they're doing there. Right. I know their business. I think their business is on an upswing. I think they're doing all right. So we'll see. I don't know. I don't know their financials. I will close it out here, guys. I got some awesome pictures. I shared the Hameen Media group. I got them on my social medias. Hashtag RBV eats out. But yeah, this past Sunday, I tried it. Sank my teeth and treated those taste buds. Kangaroo, dude. Kangaroo. I had it in a taco. Speaking of AAA Fiestas, I had a kangaroo taco. I was at this place, Agave Rye, which they specialize in unique outside the box style tacos. So you get a bunch of unique flavors. So I did a flight. So one of the ones that I got was called a Happy Meal. Essentially, it was it had hamburger meat. It had Big Mac sauce. It had ketchup. It had onions. It had lettuce.
They get sued by McDonald's for that?
McDonald's doesn't own Happy Meal. Happy Meal's a Happy Meal.
Oh,
but it had the French fries in it. Then I did a filthy fajita, which was more like a spicy fajita one, and then my kangaroo one, which had fried kangaroo, grilled kangaroo, and some sriracha sauce in there. But it took me a little bit. I had seen it on the menu there a few weeks ago.
So is it new to the menu, by the way?
They rotate theirs, but it's been on there. It was in one of their specialty upcharge ones, but they also had an alligator one on there, which was interesting. But I've had alligator before.
To try that.
I've had alligator before. So it took me a while. I had to work up the nerve. And even going in, I had it back in my head, man, I'm gonna chicken out. No put it. I'm gonna chicken out last minute and just get something that I know. So I ordered it. So I got it as one of my 3 tacos. Kangaroo. I'm ready to do this. I'm gonna hop on it. Even though after I ordered it, as a waitress was walking by me, I thought about twice about changing my order. But I stuck with it. And when they sat it down in front of me, I'm staring at this thing. I'm just staring for a little bit. I don't know how to attack it. And I sent you the video of it. I just picked that bad boy up, took a bite of it. That first bite I think it was more like a mind game of getting through it. But it is kind of gamey.
Literally gamey.
A little chewy with it, I probably would
very tough meat.
Cook it a little more rare. It is kind of tough to chew, but I could say that I've had kangaroo.
Yeah, I mean, you must feel weird now after all that. To be honest, Rick, you must feel completely different.
I feel closer to you and Pierce. I just feel you guys.
Welcome to Australia. But except you've tried kangaroo before I have. I know Pierce has tried it.
Yeah,
a few times I think. But like Cold Blooded says, he says, I bet it has a kick to it, Rick.
The siracha sauce gave it a little kick, but yeah, I like that.
All right, let me ask one more time before we go.
Pop for the hop.
Pop for the hop. First of all, I wonder if the kangaroo was imported from Australia, right? Or they had him as a pet. I don't know where the fuck they got it. I'm pretty sure it came from down here anyway.
No, Jimmy, we have a kangaroo slaughter farm behind the restaurant.
Hey, well, yeah, you never know. I mean, Matt Hardy's got a friggin' pet kangaroo, legit. So I mean, it is possible. But
Don't
in
talk
saying that,
about Rebby like that.
oh, hey, she kicked the fuck out of him, dude. Legitimately. But anyway, but would you try it one more time? And if you do, how about you do it on this very show for the whole world
If
to
I could
see?
find it, I think I would want to cook it up, prepare it,
On your
season
own?
it maybe a little bit, yeah, and then I would do it.
All right, before we go, what would you do differently to the meat if it was you that was cooking it?
I just think I would have gone more probably like a medium rare with it.
Fair
So I
enough.
get a little more of that natural juice in there, so it would just didn't seem so tough with it.
All right, that's interesting. All right, I'm intrigued. Maybe I don't know if I can do it. You got balls, I'll give you that. You're the man. I don't know. I thought about it. I'm like, I don't know. I know. Yeah, you got to pound that shit, all right, but it'll still be thick. It'll still be, and I know where you're getting at, Frank, but you literally got to pound it pretty hard to get it even more softer.
Hey, before you get us out of here, I just want a programming note. Change of time, guys. Stick with us. Hey, get a bite to eat. Come back 5:30. I'll be live with Jargo for this week's Hitting the Marks Pro Wrestling Podcast. We're going to go a little early.
Well, since you said that, we might as well, call it home over here because you are going to be back. It is RBV Tuesdays right here on Hammy Media Group's YouTube channel. So, in saying that, I am Jimmy T. I am Slim Jimmy T, by the way. He is Prime, R to the B to the V. And you've been listening and watching this week in WWE right here on Hammy Media Group's YouTube channel. Till next time, peace out, much love, and we'll see you soon. See yous.